Hey everybody, welcome back to Mortgage Minutes. Today is December 3rd, 2025. The countdown is on for the holidays. Hope you're ready. Hope you got your Black Friday and your Monday specials done from Amazon or wherever you're buying stuff. Want to talk today about some really cool changes happening for loan limits for 2026 and how you can take advantage of them if you're a homeowner, a buyer, a seller, a realtor, or a lender. So every year, FHFA basically does a study to analyze in every market across the country the affordability and average price point in each county in each state across the country. What this means is they take an average across that country to give a baseline for conforming loan limits. So as you can see here on my screen I'm sharing, you'll see that I have basically the loan limits broken down for most markets. For example, last year or this year's loan limits were 806 500 on average for a one unit baseline county loan limit. Well, fortunately, that this year they're going to be going up to 832 750. What does that mean? That means starting today, you could lock loans in, close loans, and most lenders are honoring the 2026 loan limits early. So if you're looking to buy a property right now, a hack would be to offer more because your loan limit is going to be higher by about 26,250 on average. So you could go into a property if it's highly competitive and offer more, knowing that you can borrow more in 2026. So again, those loan limits are in effect today. Another thing to be aware of also is there's a high cost county loan limit. As you can see on my diagram, between 806 and 1.209 million is a large gap. So you'll notice that that's a big amount of difference between the typical county loan limits and the high cost loan limits. In addition, that loan limit is going up from 1.209 million to 1.249 million. These are all for one unit properties. What does that mean? That means you can buy about 39,375 more of a loan amount as long as you qualify for the debt. So you got to make sure that you qualify. So make sure you work with the local lender that helps qualify you and making sure that you understand what loan limits you qualify for. Another key thing to be aware of, certain loan limits are different from county to county. For example, where I live in Santa Cruz County, California, which is on the coast, there's a loan limit difference between Santa Cruz County and Monterey County of about $300,000 in purchase power. So if I'm on the south part of Santa Cruz and on the north part of Monterey County, you're going to see a differential of buying power. So it's safe to say areas that are on those borderlines, smart buyers and smart agents are going to understand the difference between the buying power of a $300,000 price point. So if I'm looking to buy more home, but I'm stuck at the lower loan limits, I may want to cross the county line to buy in a different area. That's all different case by case throughout the country. Some don't have that variability, but where we live in the Bay Area, California, we have about 9 counties that are in the high cost areas, but some that border them have a differential of $300,000 to $400,000. So what's also important to be aware of is that there's a website you can go to that will show you those different loan limits. For example, if I go to hud.gov, hud.gov, I can find those loan limits. I can look up things that are important to buying a property. This is the great place to start when you look at buying properties. You'll see things like one family, two family, three family, and four family differences there. Those differences specifically talk about if I bought a single family home versus a duplex versus a triplex versus a fourplex. These loan limits show that there's a significant difference in buying power, and these are for the 2025 limit years. So you'll see, for example, in Boise, Idaho, if I bought a single family home, my conforming loan limit is 806, which means I can have a down payment of between 3 and 5% with a loan balance of 806, or put down more money if I like to. If I was to buy a two-unit property, I can buy about $200,000 and $50,000 more, $2,000 and $26,000 more a year, or I can buy even higher. So you can see the scale changes dramatically here. So if you're working again with a real estate professional and a lender, make sure you know the differences between 1, 2, 3, and 4 unit properties. A lot of people go into house hacks where they'll actually buy a duplex. They'll rent out one of those duplexes and live in the other one. It's a great way to get into a starter home and build your portfolio up. I have several clients that over the years have done this successfully, where they almost have the renter next door paying their mortgage. So they're able to afford more, accelerate the down payment, payoff of the loan, and be able to look at other homes sooner than later. So if you have someone helping contribute to pay down that loan or offset that payment or liability, you're in a much better spot. So think about this as another strategy to stay in front of those loan limits. We'll put this in the chat here to show those loan limits. Again, these will be updated by the government as soon as early next month. It's just great to be aware before you make large decisions how this can affect you. We're going to get into a little bit of Chat GPT right now to talk about some other things. You can go into Chat GPT to learn more about these loan limits. For example, I could say Santa Cruz County loan versus Monterey County loan limits 2026, and it will show those differences for us. Sorry, I put 2206. Hopefully it'll come back and share those things. So for example, it'll break down different opportunities and we'll say loan conventional amounts, Fannie Mae, which is one of the providers of loans, and it'll break this down for us even further. So as we get more popular with ChatGPT and AI, you can use these tools to benefit you. So again, you'll see the loan limits have a ceiling or a baseline of 1.429 million in Santa Cruz County. Again, those loan limits are different here if you look at those different type of marketplaces. So I can pull a table of all the counties. So I'll say yes, and I'll be able to see specifically maybe areas on the border of two counties where I can take advantage of things. So it's a really good way of looking at what you qualify for. And I can save this and make sure that I get a spreadsheet that I can send to everybody and give them these updates. So again, it's important to think about ways to stay in front of opportunities and make a big difference to you and your family and your needs. Thank you so much for your time today. Again, we're talking about loan limits and making sure that you have a better understanding about how to qualify for these loan limits and what it means to you and your ability to make a good decision around financing. Thanks for your time today. It's another Mortgage Minutes. No, like, subscribe, and follow us on TN5. And next week, we'll have Tristan back on with me so we can talk more about real estate and mortgage and combining those two with 5 opportunities next week about ways to benefit in the end of the year and going into next year. So thanks again for your time. Have a great week and stay warm out there. It is cold, so get bundled up, stay warm, and make sure you got all your holiday gifts taken care of. Signing off from now, Jim Black, Mortgage Minutes. Thanks for your time.